Now then, people, it is Joe, it's All Leeds TV, and it is time for, I say another, it's ages since we've done this. It's Monday Night Football. This used to be every week religiously, but with COVID and Premier League football and the fixture pile up, it's just been game after game after game, so we haven't been able to do it. But thankfully, I mean, me and Oscar, we've been so busy. We're actually grateful that it's now just every Saturday for a little bit, because it gives us a little bit of a rest, because it's been manic at All Leeds TV, to be fair.
We're burning out. We're burning out at the minute, aren't we?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, Bielsa burnout is real. It is real in my house, anyway. We've got some fantastic guests with us today from the Marching Out Together organisation. We've got Wiggy. How are you doing, Wiggy? All right?
I'm good, thank you. Good evening. Thanks for having us.
No worries, it's a pleasure. And we've got Mish all the way from her stairs. How are you doing, Mish?
I'm fine, thank you. Right next to the Wi-Fi, fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's got to be. Hopefully it holds out. We've all been there. Sometimes midstream it can be a nightmare, but it's all good. Oscar, how are you doing, mate? All right? Have you got over Villa?
Yeah, got over it, mate. Looking ahead now. Shame it's a big gap between now and West Ham, but one of those things, mate.
You've been saying we needed a rest, and you're saying it's a shame.
No. You know, when you're having a big rest, you want to like win 3-0 and then like never have football again for like 10 days. That's what you want. You don't want to like go out and after a 1-0 defeat. But no, I'm feeling good, mate. I'm feeling good. One of those things. We get over it. A lot of overreactions, as always, on Twitter. Mentions of Fulham, mentions of this and that. We're fine. We're Leeds United. We're fine. Looking up, not looking down. That's the main thing.
That is so true, mate. I'm with you on that. I've just learned now to just stay away from it, genuinely.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I'm done on All Leeds TV. That is it. I'm done then. I don't go back on. I don't check. We got clipped up by some Aston
I've heard this. I've not seen a tweet, though.
We got clipped up by some Aston Villa fans. It was Phil, actually. And I got home. I'd been to the beach. And it was a full 8 hours before anyone actually tagged me in it. So I was like, I can't believe it's been 8 hours since
I've not been tagged at all in this.
Oh, have you not?
No, I've not seen it.
It comes with the territory. It is what it is, mate. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, before we do get into the video properly and have a chat with our lovely guests, please smash a like on the stream. If you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, share the streams, subscribe, all that jazz. And of course, I need to remind you that this video is sponsored by Football Prizes. They're lovely. I always get this wrong. The lovely emblem over there.
Hang on, I can't do it now. There. I can't do it.
You can see it in the top corner. They've got, they're quite limited actually this week in terms of Leeds United prizes, and the reason that is because Leeds United fans get on it straight away and they sell out straight away. So the Stuart Dallas signed and frame shirt, the Bamford boot, they're all gone, but they do have some fantastic prizes available still. This one, first of all, they have ends today at 7:30. Right, you've got 20 minutes left on this. Gordon McQueen and Joe Jordan signed and framed Leeds United montage, and of course 100% of the profits made from this go to Dementia UK. Obviously the news this week that Gordon McQueen has dementia. So please, if you can, contribute and help them out. It's £2.95 a ticket. There are 66 tickets available, so that ends in 20 minutes. So please donate if you can. That was it on the Leeds United front. But if you've been checking on my Twitter, I've been struggling to get a PS5 for a very, very long time. And if you're in the same boat as me, there is the opportunity to win one. Okay, £4.95 a go, 199 tickets available. I've put that up selfishly just for myself. But if there are any other PlayStation 5 hunters out there, then have a go at this. I mean, I do want to contact them and say, how is it you're able to raffle one off and I can't even get one? So something's going off there maybe, but we'll have a chat. We'll leave that for another day. Right, okay, that's that done. Let's have a brief touch on Aston Villa. I only want it to be brief because it was absolutely shocking. Mish, what are your overriding thoughts on Aston Villa? What was it like? The performance just wasn't great, was it?
Just wasn't good. No, not Bielsa ball. Not the guys as we know them. They didn't really give it They didn't push. I mean, obviously they try. They always do. They're our lads. That's what they do. But yeah, not much really I want to say about it any more than you, Joe, to be honest. Let's move on to the West Ham game, and that's going to be the next one, and we'll learn from it as we always do.
Yeah, I'm really nervous about the next three. We've got West Ham in London, Chelsea at home, and then Fulham in London. So I look at them three fixtures and think, well, me and Oscar, we know we're going to totally be fine, but I look at them three and I think there's a realistic possibility, dare I say it, we might get a very small points return in them next three, and it'll be absolute pandemonium on Leeds United Twitter, Leeds United fans, like, just stay away from it. I know I'll be doing that because it could be tough over them next three. But Wiggy, what were your thoughts on Villa, mate?
I just don't think we ever really got going. That would be my overall assessment of it. We just never got into a stride. I think to Mishy's point, the Bielsa ball wasn't there. And I think realistically we could still be playing now, and I don't think we'd have scored. So it's done. I think we move on to the next. I'm a bit more optimistic about the next three. I know we've got a couple in London, but I think they're very winnable games in London. I know that West Ham are flying this season, but I think it's a winnable game for us. And you've got to beat Fulham, for God's sake. They're crap, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are, mate. They are. I agree. I just have this. I have this feeling that I don't know. If
it was in Birmingham, we'd win the game easily, wouldn't we? If they just put it in Birmingham,
yeah, exactly.
I think the one thing for me on that, and I know it's been spoke about, is the issue with the pitch. I think it's a real big issue for us. I think it's awful, and I'm really worried that it's going to injure one of our players. And I mean, we've already seen it injure a Southampton player. You don't want to see any player injured, but I think ultimately it's to follow the pitches is that injury, and I'm sure the others will be. I mean, I'm no expert on injuries, but there will be some, and that's really sad. And I don't know what you can do about it. I don't think you can do anything, to be fair.
No, it's unfortunate, isn't it? It's I agree. I remember we did a watch along for the Southampton game, and I remember talking about Romeo when he got injured, and I was like, he didn't want it, man. There were no wrong with him. He just weren't up for the fight. And then I found out a couple of days later he actually did pick up an injury, and he was out for the rest of the season. So I was a bit like, okay, I'm sorry. We have had a super chat come in from the doctor. How tall is Oscar? It's a strange one. First time.
It's a strange one, but 6'3", the doctor I am. So 6'3".
Yeah, he is a bit of a giant, is Oscar, to be fair. I'm only 5'8", so he towers over me. When he looks like my dad at games, I think. But yeah, right, okay, that's it. That's all we're going to do on Villa. That is it, because it was absolutely shocking. I just want to move on. I've seen, obviously, today on Twitter a tweet that's gone a bit viral. I would say there's been a lot of football related accounts, Leeds fans tweeting out about this, where they were asked your club's 5 best players this season ranked. I know Oscar had a go. There's my goal there. I went for Bamford, Dallas, Rafinha, Meslier, and Ayling. No KP, which I took a bit of stick for, maybe rightly so. I've seen some people put Cooper in there as well, which is fair enough. So I just thought we could have a chat about this, pretty light-hearted, and just have a go and see what comes from that. And everyone in the chat as well, guys, let us know your 5 ranked players this season. Get involved. Please smash a like on it as well. But Oscar, what was yours, mate? What was your team?
In fact, I'm just looking, just to remind myself actually what I went for, because I was debating when I looked at it, I thought, this is quite tough, this, in terms of, I mean, I'm getting accused of being a liar now, but I'm not. I can assure you I am genuinely 6'3". I am. That is no lie, to be fair. So I was looking what I put. I went Phillips 5th, Ayling 4th, Dallas 3rd, Rafinha 2nd, Bamford, the best player so far for us this season. But to be honest, I was thinking people like Meslier, Harrison, a couple of different players in that lot, even Cooper, Struick, etc. You probably could easily, even Robin Koch at the start of the season, you could easily make a case of putting in there. And to be fair, up until about 6 weeks ago, I think I probably would have had Click in the top 5, to be honest. But such as his form, I can't put him in there. I based it purely off form, to be honest. But again, not too different to yours, mate. Maybe slightly different order, but just Phillips is in mine and Meslier was in yours, I think. Was that the only difference in our 5, I think?
Yeah. It was. Mish, looking at them and hearing that, do you have any take on your top 5?
No, I think obviously you've got to have Dallas in there, you've got to have Ayling in there. I put Coops in as well. I thought couldn't miss him. Phillips has got my vote, and I think who else did I put? A Raf, of course, Rafinha. But then, like you said, how can you leave Meslier out, and how can you leave Bamford out? Bam.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing the biz this season, and everyone's been knocking him. Look, hands up. I did it too last season, and was worried for him in the Premier League, but he's just shone, and I'm so chuffed for him. And he's such a nice fellow as well. Seeing him in interviews afterwards, I'm thinking, always interview Bamford. I don't care what's going on, just always interview him after the game. It's a tough one. That it's tough.
It is. It's interesting you mentioned Bamford because I always bring it up. Like after we'd lost in the playoffs the first season against Derby at home, I was done. And the thing is, obviously we do this. We do these videos, and we're there to be shot at, kind of thing. And someone actually went back and actually commented and said this aged well. And because I was saying, I'm done. He's no good. I want, we've wasted the money, etc. But that's the thing. Like I would be very confident in knowing that every Leeds fan at that specific moment in time probably felt somewhere the same as me in regards to Bamford. And anyone who says different is probably lying. Some people then, verbalise it. But that's the thing, we're there to be shot at, and it's fine. Yes, it has aged well. It has aged well because now he's amazing. But I don't think any of us thought he would have the impact he has had, Mish, has he? He's been absolutely fantastic. No,
he's been brilliant. And also, you got to think of the likes of how Harrison's come on this season as well, scoring goals now. And I've always had a soft spot for Alioski. I know some people might shoot me down on that one, but and I know he's sort of made way in the last couple of games. But I don't know. I like him. I like him a lot. And I'd love to see Hernandez shine a little bit before he goes, because I think that's inevitable, don't we? But I mean, it'd be nice to see that. But yeah, there's a lot of good players to choose from, and that's fantastic, isn't it? If you're struggling to choose your top 5 in a Leeds United team in the Premier League, what more could you ask for?
Exactly. You bang on the money. What about yourself, Wiggy? What would be yours?
I think so. Just going back to your point on Bamford, I think I totally agree. At the end of that season and then last season as well, I still just didn't think he had it. And in the summer, very short summer, everyone were crying out for us to go get a new number 9 because no one thought that Bamford would be good enough for the Premier League, me included. And he has just proved everyone wrong, and I think for that reason, I'm with you, Joe. He's probably my player this year of the season so far. I think in close second is Dallas. I think he's another one that 3-4 years ago before Bielsa, I really struggled with. I just didn't see him as a Leeds United player. I didn't think he was very good. But again, the transformation A under Bielsa and B as the seasons have gone on, he just gets better and better. And you can see why Bielsa will literally play him anywhere. I think you play him in goal if that's where he had to put him to get him in. And you can totally understand why. Yeah, 100%. I think we all want to Kiko. But I just think you've got to get him in the team, and you can see why. So Dallas for me there, and then I think Raf definitely the last 5 games and maybe a little bit more. He's just come into his own. He's scary, and you look and you think, God, how did we pick him up for so little? And we were lucky to. And I think any other year when this pandemic wasn't going on, you'd be paying a lot more for him. And I think as we go into the summer and the summer after, his price tag is with every game is going up a few million. It's great to see because I think realistically, we'll probably get 2 seasons out of him, and then we'll lose him, and I'm okay with that. Like if we lose him, I don't want to lose him this summer. If we lose him the summer after, and we get 60, 70, 80 million, then you've got to take it, and you've got to think about right now we can reinvest that in more players and growing our squad. So I think them 3. I think special mention Cooper. I think he's played fantastic. And as you say, Melier is there or thereabouts as well. So I think pretty much in agreement with everything that the 3 are saying. They've really just taken to the Premier League like ducks to water. Like you take it all day long.
Yeah. No, agreed. Lovely comment here from Tomo Jones. He says, "Loving Misha's claret hair. Enjoyed our win on Saturday. All the best for the rest of the season. Great to see 2 great teams with great banter. Up the Villa." So yeah, is it claret? I was thinking more pink, Mish.
Well, it started off as purple. It's faded now a little bit. Now it kind of matches with your shirt. I need to get the away shirt, obviously. I'll be coordinated. But working on this lockdown hair. Sometimes it might be a hair don't instead of a hairdo, but if it's liked, I'm liking it. That's good. I'll take it.
That's always a good thing, isn't it? I mean, look, my partner does my hair now. Do you know what I mean? This is upside down head at the minute, but I'm just going to keep growing it out so I can go treat myself to a proper shave when it gets done and get it all styled up and that. That's what I have to look forward to, a nice, decent beard trim. Just on, obviously, Wiggy mentioned Rafinha and the fact that, I'm with Wiggy. I think regardless of where Leeds are in a couple of seasons, his ceiling is massive. We could see him at some of the big teams across Europe. And I'm talking Real Madrid, I'm talking Bayern Munich, this level, of teams, even look, we spoke about it briefly yesterday, not yesterday, the day before after the game, and people will hate me for saying it. Oscar hated me for saying it at the time, but I really think there's a small possibility he goes to that team just because his best mate Bruno Fernandes plays there, and that would be absolutely sickening. But it all depends where we are. But the reason I just bring that up, obviously, there's this picture of Rafinha sat against the advertising board, much like Pontus Jansson, and people are saying he's leaving. Oscar, what's your opinion
on
that?
Mentality. Someone tweeted awful mentality this, and I'm thinking, hang on, just calm down a minute. It's nothing like the Pontus situation. Pontus didn't even play the game. Pontus crossed to the other side of the pitch to sit on the hoarding next to the stand. That's like a totally different thing altogether. But no, look, I think Rafinha, there is a possibility he leaves in the summer. There's no doubt about that. There's going to be interest. I guess it depends on what the teams are willing to pay. I don't think there's any doubt there'll be interest. But for me, I still think he will be a Leeds player next season. I agree with Wiggy. I think it will be the summer of, what will it be, 2022, where I think it might be this time next year, where it might be it becomes inevitable, when we're kind of going towards the end of next season. But who knows? Who knows, to be fair? But the thing is, I'm still not fearful of losing Rafinha because, let's be honest, this team drew with Man City before Rafinha turned up, almost got a result at Liverpool. It's done things without Rafinha. Don't get me wrong, Rafinha's our best player, but it's not a one-man team. That's the big thing for me. I don't think we're a one-man team at all. We will still survive without Rafinha for me. I think a back order to find a replacement. And look, if we get 80 million for Rafinha, all of a sudden you're thinking, you could get 2 or 3 players with that. Not just a replacement for Rafinha. You could get a backup goalkeeper. You could get another midfielder. You could get another striker. There's lots of different things we can do. And the thing is, if we're following this Leicester City transfer model, unfortunately, we're going to lose the odd player. But look what Leicester have done. I mean, do you want me to read it out to you? Because I did a bit of research on what Leicester have done over the last 3 years. It's mad stuff.
My wife's a Leicester fan, so I probably know it, but keep going.
Well, 2018, when Brendan Rodgers came in, 2018, they sold Mahrez, they brought Ricardo Pereira, James Maddison, Soyuncu and Evans with that money. 2019, they sold Maguire and brought James Justin and Tielemans. This year, they sold Chilwell and brought Castagne and Fofana. So with 3 sales, they've effectively bought a team just without Schmeichel. Effectively, that's a whole new team they brought, and there's no doubt about it. They are gradually building. So
you're not even talking squad players there either.
Exactly, you're talking like proper big hitters. That's the thing. The only thing is, it needs a good coach. It needs a good coach to make it happen. Like, say, James Justin, he came in from Luton. He needs that coach in Brendan Rodgers to get the best out of him. But we just so happen to have arguably the best coach in the world to make this happen. So I'm not fearful. I'm not fearful at all. You know, if Rafinha wants to go, fair enough. But I want to see him stay another year. Hopefully we'll get Rodrigo de Paul. And then maybe next summer it's where we have to start giving a bit back, if you like, having to sell a couple of players off and kind of recycle to an extent. But I'm comfortable with it, to be honest, mate.
No, I agree. I'm with you. Go on, Wiggy.
So I was just going to say, and I think if Rafinha wants to go, as long as it into scum, then it goes with my blessing. It goes with my blessing, and I hope that the fans don't turn on him and they give him the round of applause they deserve, and we take the money and we look forward to him coming and playing at Ellen Road for whoever he plays for. As long as it ain't scum, then we get to watch him in another team. And I don't want to see him go, but I want to be realistic. He is good enough to play for one of the top teams, either in the Premier League or in Europe. I am confident of that. And if we can get, as you say, 80 million, we shouldn't turn on him. We should wish him the best and look forward to seeing him when we do.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. And I think, Oscar, there, some of the players that you mentioned that they've brought in for that money, the likes of Justin, the likes
the
of...
The whole back four, in terms of like what they brought, in terms of what, and Fofana
and the thing is, these players they've brought in, Fofana, could end up going for the same, if not more, than Maguire. Do you know what I mean? His ceiling's that high, so it's amazing, and we're so lucky that we do have Victor, because I think Victor took a lot of unfair stick in his first season. I think a lot of that for me was due to the remit. I don't know. I'm just surmising, but it seemed to me that it was due to the remit maybe be given by Rads to say go out and just flesh this whole team, the youth, everything out, and he went and did that, and he did. There was a lot of duds. But in that same time, he bought Pascal Struijk, who's now, arguably one of our better centre-backs, So we've got to trust in the process. I know we see Arsenal fans hear that a lot, don't they? Trust in the process, but we do have to. And I think, I'm happy to go along with that. Mish, you mentioned your wife's a Leicester City fan. I get, were you there when she's won the Premier League and stuff? How was that for you when we're languishing in the Championship?
I think Steve Evans was manager at the time, wasn't he?
Probably. It's been interesting, to say the least. I know she's watching now, so I love. It's been fun, because Leicester, they did what nobody expected, and being down here in Leicestershire, where I moved for my sins, back in 2013, it's been nice to see that happen in the Premier League. But you know what, we're back now, and now she knows how good football is played and stuff. So it's nice that we got the result a few weeks ago against them, because the atmosphere in here you could have cut with a knife, but we got over it, and it had to happen because obviously back in early December, just before the lockdown, they battered us, so we had to return the favour really, and we bloody did. Oh, there she is.
Yeah. I had a look then and I was like, I'm sure it's Mish Keatman, I'm sure. I didn't just want to flash it up just in case, but I was like, yeah, it's definitely Keatman. It's definitely Keatman.
Yeah. It's love. It's love, Doc. Look.
I was just thinking there, that's almost 8 years now. You've had to be outside of Leeds. I think it's about time maybe when you get to 10 that she returns the favour and you move back to Leeds so you can get to see the Mighty Whites on a regular basis. I think we should make that happen.
Yeah, she lived in Sheffield for about 10 years, so I think we can make the progression a bit further. And Mum and Dad who are watching, hiya Mum and Dad, they'll be chuffed to bits because they still live in Leeds. So it's got to happen. It's got to happen. Yeah. I need to be at Ellen Road again. Yeah,
we were chatting earlier, Mish, weren't we, about your 1 to 5, your ultimate Leeds 5-a-side time, and I think it'd end up causing arguments with you and your dad, I think, over who goes into the side, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, Dad's been Leeds fan. That's why I'm a Leeds fan. You know, since 60s, well, 50s, 60s, whatever. And yeah, well, the story goes when I was being born. Well, apparently, he rang my grandparents. And they were thought, oh, well, you know, the granddaughter had been born. And no, it was just to tell them that we'd won. We'd won one of the games. And my grandpa's like, oh, it's fucking football. It's, but yeah, that's my dad for you. But yeah, Leeds fan, at you, Howie. Yes. But yeah, he's got a bit of a. Obviously, I'd enjoyed it till sort of like early 80s, but he's got all the sort of 60s, 70s players, and he was saying, you got to put, well, we'll talk about it in a bit later, but you got to put Paul Reaney in. I was like, Dad, just because you met him at the cinema one time and you were on a date with my mum and you couldn't kind of function properly, doesn't mean you should go in. So, yeah, tough one, but good fun.
I've got a pair of Reaney sock types behind me. Someone gave me them, actually. Someone contacted me up there.
There you go, number two.
Yeah. Someone contacted me over social media and said, look, I think his father worked with Don as a physio, I believe, and just said, look, I've got loads of memorabilia. Do you want them? And I was like, yes, please. And they were sent in the post. To be fair, I've been contacted actually by a guy who he keeps trying to buy them off me and swap them for like signed shirts and stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, mate, I can't. They're a present. Derek's I've named him them. That person's probably watching this and he's like, you better not be getting rid of them. Sorry, I named him them for a second.
I know which Derek you're talking about as well.
I'm sorry. Right, let's have a chat then a little about marching out together. I think it's great to have you on and be able to chat about that. I mean, me and Oscar had a lovely experience. We were just talking off air. We were at the Middlesbrough home game, and Andrew was there. I think it was in the Foster's fan zone with the rest of the gang at marching out together, and said, "Would you like to come on the pitch?" And I was like, yes, yeah. So we all walked round. Phil here was there. We took a picture with the scarves that you've got there and had our badges on and whatnot. And then we were lucky enough, weren't we, Oscar, to walk out onto the pitch, mate. I got to sit on Bielsa's bucket. Yeah, honestly, it was amazing. And then we, you know, as the players came out, it was great, wasn't it, Oscar?
Oh, well, it's unreal. It's unreal. I remember when you came over to me and said, I think I was talking to Tash. I think Connor was there. Was Connor there? No, Connor wasn't there on the day, was he? Right. I think someone else. Your mate was there. Yeah. Chatting, and you came over and says, "Right, we're going on the pitch in 5 minutes." Says, "So drink up," kind of thing. He says, "What do you mean we're going on the pitch?" And then he thought, "Right. This sounds fun." But unreal day, and then we win 4-0. Yeah, unforgettable experience, to be fair, and to show, you know, support for marching out was just unreal. Yeah. To be fair, in the process was unreal as well. To be fair, with a lot of, you know, well-known Leeds United media, you know, Phil Hay, the biggest of all. So that was an amazing day. Can't thank Andrew enough for that experience.
Yeah. It was amazing. Yeah, it's like something off a comedy sketch, innit, when things like that happen. It's like you've gone to a game and all of a sudden you find yourself on the pitch. Like, how have I got here? What's happened? I remember getting contacted afterwards, people saying, "Did I see you on the pitch? Like, what were you doing?" I was like, yeah. My only regret with it is I took the worst photo ever sat on Bielsa's bucket.
It was rough, wasn't it?
I had my legs open. I mean this with it looks like I'm taking a poo, right? I'm so disappointed because my mate took one like this and it looked really cool because the fans there, it looks like he's looking out on the pitch, and I just went, I'm so disappointed because I don't think I'll ever get that opportunity again. And I can't share the photo or anything because it's just terrible. And I think,
but give yourself some credit. You were nervous because you thought, if I miss time this and Bielsa comes out and you're just there next to you, just looking at you on the bucket kind of thing.
It was a little bit of that as well, though, because I just ran over. I was like, quickly take a photo. So yeah.
You'll know what to do next time, Joe, if it happens. Yeah. I'll keep fingers crossed for you. Yeah. Not before me, but yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But yeah, I know about the Rainbow Laces initiative. I have a pair myself. I have them in my running shoes. I go running regularly. I wear them. You know, I try support where I can. But that's it really. I don't know, like what. I know you've got the website and stuff, and I've put the link in the description to this video as well. So please do check it out, guys, everyone that's watching us. But Wiggy, what is it you're doing? I know Mish told me off air you've been very busy through February. I've seen you doing bits with the Roaring Peacock guys as well. We're also massive supporters. So, big shout out to the work they're doing over there as well. But what is it you're up to, Wiggy?
So I think if we talk about the last month, which has been LGBT plus History Month, we've achieved so much, and everything we've done is beyond my wildest dreams and the guys' wildest dreams. You can definitely see and feel a difference in the fact we're in the Premier League. So they now have a diversity and inclusion officer manager down at Ellen Road that they need to as part of the Premier League standards that are set. So you've got to have someone specifically looking at diversity and inclusion, which when we was in the EFL, all the stuff we did was fantastic, but it's difficult to do because people are doing it on top of the day job, if that makes sense. Whereas when you've got someone there specifically looking at this issue, it really, really brings it to life. So I think, talk about the last month, we've had badges created and sent to all our members if they've been in touch. These lovely little shiny ones. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it says Premier League and it's got our badge. So they were sent to all members. As you say, we've done some stuff with the Roaring Peacocks, which has been fantastic. I've done a pod as well with LUTV, so with Jermaine Beckford, Robbie Rogers, and Bridie from the Leeds United ladies, and that we're just talking about inclusion, homophobia, all them sort of things, and it's a real educational video that we've tried to do, but just a general discussion like we're having. So in that format, we've had some stuff down at the academy. So the guys have been all the academy players from the under 9s right through to the under 23s have been on a training course that's delivered by Football versus Homophobia, talking obviously about that issue. And then the senior leaders in the club, so from Angus right across the board, have been in training with Stonewall, which is an LGBT plus charity as well, talking again about inclusion and diversity. I won't cover it all. I'll let Mish have some because there's plenty more if she can remember, but we've been so busy, but it's just been great to see. We've really enjoyed it. It's not been a chore. We're buzzing with the stuff we've achieved, the raffle, everything. So Mish, go on, you fill in the rest.
No. Oh, thanks for that. I can't remember why I went in the kitchen. Myself and one of our team, we also went on BBC Sport. We were interviewed for the BBC Sport because they were doing the Football this Homophobia month in February. So something went out every month, and they edited together a sort of like collage of all fans talking about what it was like on pitch side and how we can support, how allies, if you like, such as yourselves, can support homophobia, and if it's seen and it's called out and we talk about it, if it's called out and seen in games and things like that. And it's about the language that gets used in games, which has got better. We know this, but it's still out there, and it's kind of like just making people aware. It's education. We don't think people sometimes mean to be homophobic, but if you're hearing words like puff and faggot and things like that are shouted out at our players by our fans as well in some cases, it's not the ideal, and it's just re-educating people that could be harmful to someone who was there, who was a fan, who was gay, and thinks, is this a safe place for me to be if people are shouting those words out, and just redefining the language, if you like, and we know it's better than it was in the 80s and 90s, but there's still a long way to go. And when people ask, why do you have to do this, why do you still have a march, why do you still have to talk about it and go on and have months of football versus homophobia and things like that in a month, it's because of this language is still used. And we want to have someone that's Justin Fashanu, bless him, the last fella, 1990 came out. We know how that ended. For male players to come out, we want it to be a safe place for them, and it's not. And I've no doubt that they're still scared, and social media has probably got a lot to say in that, as you and I well know. But this is why we do what we do, and it's been a cracking month for us all. And yeah, I don't know if I've missed anything out. But...
No. I think I'd just like to add to that point, Nish, and that is, statistically, there has to be a gay player within the football pyramid. There has to be, yeah. Football or male, yes, sorry, male, sorry. The male game is not reflective of society. It just isn't. And it says a lot, does that there's no out gay player. So I think the work we do is not about going and finding a player to out them. It's about that supportive, inclusive environment, both at the academy and at Thorpe Arch and at Ellen Road, so that they do feel included. Because I think, look, someone will do it one day and will be a very brave person to do it. They're going to get some crap, I'm sure of it, both from the opposition fans and things like that. And we just got to outline that some of your language is unacceptable. And as Mish said, it's not that some people are homophobic, it's that some of their language is ignorant. And they don't understand the impact of using some words. If you're at Ellen Road and you've got a young lad or woman, but a young lad who sat there watching the football, who's maybe thinking, I'm gay and getting ready to come out, so they're a young adult, and you hear someone shout puff or uses it in a derogatory way, because it's never used in a positive way, is it? But it's used in a derogatory way. That could set you back years.
Yeah. From
coming out and from being your true self. And in 2021, I'm sure we can all agree that is absolutely unacceptable and ridiculous.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with you. I think, I see a lot of people as well on social media, maybe sometimes being vilified for the use of certain words. And I think that as well, for me, sometimes it is about education, rather than creating a pile-on situation and saying, why do, because like you said, there is a lot of people that don't have that education to be able to know what is right and wrong, and it goes across all prejudices, for me. And definitely education is absolutely huge. And that's why we need things like this. And I just want to commend you for your work, 100%. It's amazing. I've seen a lot of people asking in the chat, and I will ask, do you think, what will it take for because like you say, Wiggy, there is not a cat in hell's chance that there isn't one gay footballer. There is multiple. We're talking hundreds. Like you say, it's not reflective of society. We all know this. But when will it get to a stage, do you think, that they'll feel comfortable? Because I know you mentioned about the fans, the education, but there's also probably inside the dressing room as well. Maybe then worried about and fearful out to their fellow teammates,
We were talking, we had a special Zoom at the weekend with the player care lead from Thorpe Arch, and we were talking about creating that environment for them and what does it take. And I think we're really clear that we don't want to get rid of the dressing room banter. And when I did the chat with Robbie Rogers, he was saying, at the Galaxy, he would have banter with his fellow players because he'd come out at that point. And as long as it's banter, then it's absolutely fine. I think for me, it's making sure there's clear kind of guidelines in terms of the banter and the words that are used. When I think about, my work and what I do, I get loads of banter from my colleagues about being gay. It's absolutely fine. Like, it's a laugh, it's fun. It's meant in the way it's meant. It's when it's not meant. When it's meant to be vindictive or nasty, you can tell versus banter. So I think there's a bit of work to do there. I think what we've got, what we've got is a really strong ally and really strong allies within the club to make that safe environment. And the player care lead was talking, saying, I'd love it to be at Thorpe Arch where the first player felt comfortable to be able to come out. That's really powerful for us as Leeds United fans, because first and foremost, that's what we are. We're Leeds United fans. We want Leeds United to be the best they can be. And I think just finally is, and I'm sure we'll all agree, I do not care if someone's gay, straight, bi. If they're good enough to play football for Leeds United, that's all I want. Like, you know, if one of our players who's a superstar this year came out, who cares? Like, as long as they're bloody playing well and they're a good player, and then and they're getting a fair crack of the whip, then, you know, that's what's really important.
100%, 100%. And Mish, you mentioned, you know, about male gay footballers. Is it you caveat that because, like I say, I guess it's totally different in the women's game.
There are a lot of high-profile women who are out in the women's game. You're talking of, I mean, in America, you're talking of Megan Rapinoe and the likes of her, and there's a lot more in the UK. And I think I kind of put it down to the fact that this is just my opinion. Apart, you know, football is a tough sport. You know, you're going for these hard tackles and things like that, and therefore. Is it the fact that, you know, men can't be seen? So I've got friends who, you know, male friends such as Wiggy and the likes, you know, and it's been for them. It's been tough for them to say, I'm a football fan, but I'm a gay man. Oh, you can't be both of them. You can't be both. But for women, it's a different thing. It's just a ball game, but obviously it's football. But it's, you know, we're all right. We can be gay in football because it's hard tackles and it doesn't matter. And, you know, I guess that's just the way I see it, the way it balances out. But why has it got to be that way? Sorry, Steve, go on.
Yeah, no, I just totally agree with you. So I think I talk about this a lot. There's a real toxic masculinity around the men's game in the stadium and everything like that. And I think half of this is that, you know, masculine men look at two women and go, oh, that's great. Like, oh, it's so sexy. And they look at two men and they find it really disgusting. And it's they take it's the sexual acts they see, not the, you know, everything else around it. It's crazy. It's crazy that in 2021, we're still just having this discussion. But I think the toxic masculinity is the main issue or one of the main issues.
Yeah, it is, mate. You bang on. You bang on. I mean, I feel compelled to share this now, and because you're so right. I love RuPaul's Drag Race, right? I watch this with my missus, right? I absolutely love it. Snatch game is my favourite thing, right? Snatch game is my favourite thing. And I went to post out on social media, Snatch game, yes, right? And I actually had this conversation in my head for a good while before putting that out, because I thought, well, what if someone says and has a go at me? Oh, do you see what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. Yeah. Bang on the money. I did tweet it out because I was like, no, because I'm not asked, but I still had that conversation in my head prior to making that decision when it shouldn't be like that. Do you see what I'm saying? And that again comes to that. It's bullshit. That toxic, like you said, that masculinity that men should be men, you know, and all that sort of stuff. It's a load of rubbish. And I felt compelled to share that. I know that's not breaking down any barriers whatsoever, but I just thought, you know what, I'm going to share that because it is. You bang on, Wiki. And if you don't want then give it a watch.
Did you watch the first series, the UK version?
Yeah,
I actually know bag of chips, to be fair.
Oh, really?
Story. Yeah, to be fair. Yeah, but before the but yeah, no, was it second or third? I think they were. They got quite far into it.
Second.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was. I think things like really progressive shows, though, you know, to see on TV kind of thing. You think so? I just think in general, in terms of football, especially, it's come a long way, hasn't it? Football, in terms of that last 15 or 20 years since I've been going to games. When you think of it then compared to what it is now, you kind of think it's two different sports in terms of where they're at, kind of thing. In terms of outside the game and that lot, it's fantastic to see. But there's still, for me, there still needs to be progress. There still needs to make progress. And you look at people like, say, Marcus Rashford. You know, he's obviously campaigned for the last year. Raheem Sterling before him. You just think maybe in the next 5 years or so, will there be a player, you know, who has got the bravery to come out and then do something similar to those two? That's what I think the next big step will be. Would you agree with that, Wiggy or Mish?
Yeah, I always use this comparison for me. So, 20 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, Stephen Gately came out and it was the front page of the paper.
Yeah.
If that happened today, that would not be the front page of the paper, or if it were a little article. But at the time, it was splashed all over and was this big deal. If that happened today, it would not make the front of the paper. If a player comes out as gay today, that will make the front of the paper because it's news. But as the world progresses and as things change, in 20 years' time, it just will not make the front of the paper. So I think we're making progress all the time, as you say. I think it's one step forward, two steps back sometimes. People ask, why do we need these campaigns? Why do we need rainbow laces? Why do we need? And the only thing I would say to anyone who says that is just look at when the club put a tweet out about it. And it is a small minority. It's a small minority, but it just says that's why we're doing it, and that's it. You can stop the conversation there.
I remember because I was sharing this with my partner because I was so frustrated at the time and I wanted to wade in, but I didn't wade in, and maybe I should have done. Maybe that's an education for me. Maybe I should have used my platform to actually correct some people. But what I didn't want to do is just get into an argument. And like you say, it's about education, and some people can't see through it. But I remember the signed shirt, and because it had, so people were saying, I don't need this rammed down my throat. And I said, I'd have looked, had they have tweeted out the exact same tweet, minus the emblem, minus the rainbow colour, there'd have been nothing. But just because it has that on, apparently it's rammed down someone's throat, and it's so written to read. I was like, my God, how is that? No one's, and I think, again, that comes to, it's education, because I wanted to wait and say, you're so wrong, man. Like, look, that same tweet without that, the emblem on the rainbow, we've had it before. We had writing the Gary Kellys on, and they had their emblem, but it had the rainbow colours behind. And we had comments saying, I don't need to see that. And I was like, it's the same badge. It's just got rainbow colours. Like, I don't understand it, and it can be really frustrating because, like I said, I
just don't know what goes through people's heads when they think, why would you think? Why would you? I don't get it. I just don't get why people do that. I just don't get why people complain about something like that. Of all the things that happen in the world, and I don't get it. I just don't get the mindset of that at all.
That one really got us, because we won't interact with them. We don't get into an argument with them because it's just not worth it. Our standard response is, if you want to meet up and have a conversation, we're happy to. We will get someone there and we'll have a conversation with you. But we're not getting in a twist back with you. That one really, really annoyed us, and annoyed me as the chair, because I think it is fundamentally a raffle for charity. That's all it was. It's a raffle for charity. It's crazy that we're getting these responses. And I was really, really annoyed. And we spoke to the club, and the club have taken the appropriate action they need to. I think the issue is a wider one, which is around social media and Twitter, which is people feel like they can just say what they want without any consequences, and that's not acceptable.
No, I agree. And the thing is with social media, they can say what they want and not have any consequences. Do you know what I mean? And that's what needs to change from that side of things as well. I definitely think, I think the great thing is, if I want to set up a betting account or I want to take money out of a betting account, I have to show my passport. I have to do all this sort of stuff. So you should have to do the same for social media. In my opinion, it stops them type of accounts. Do you remember, Mish? Do you remember the gay footballer Twitter that got set up? Do you remember that at all, or do you remember it, Wiggy? Was there anything to that? Or
so I do. Do you, Mish, or do you want me to go? Because I do remember it.
No, you go.
So this was, it was probably about 2 years ago now, maybe give or take. And obviously the tweet or the account was created, and they were saying they were a gay footballer and they were going to come out, and they were just getting the ducks in a row, and it was going to happen. And that morning, in our WhatsApp group of Marching Out, we were like, God, this can't be real, but wow, this is really powerful if it's going to happen. And you almost got like, I was almost excited, like,
Yeah,
wow, this is it.
Yeah,
I remember sharing it with my partner, saying, "Oh, look at this," because I've seen a few people say, "Oh, you don't need to," and I was like I was saying, "Come on, man, this is a big thing, man. This is huge."
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, and then I go on, carry on, mate. Sorry.
We are like it will be a big day and a big step for someone, and I think, you know, there's so coming out, even if you know Joe Bloggs on the street, is still a really difficult thing to do for people, and that's a shame, but it is, you know, we are where we are. If you intensify that with the media and the scrum that'll be around it, I can totally feel why a player doesn't want to do it. I would say the flip of it is the first player that does it will probably be a very rich person overnight if they're not already, because I'm sure there'll be a lot of commercial deals there for them to be signed up and do. And who would blame them for grabbing them all? Because I wouldn't.
No, you'd
that's
be
good,
happy,
isn't it? That. Sorry, Joe. I was just going to say that's good in that sense, because Justin Fashanu, when he came out, he lost deals, and the whole opposite thing happened. That support side of it wasn't there for him, from family, from friends, and from the club and everything else. So that's a good thing in that respect. But now we've got social media and the other side of it. So
the environment's got to be created, hasn't it, by the clubs, but equally supported by the Premier League, the FA, UEFA, all the way down the football pyramid and up and down it, to give someone that environment that that they're really supported. We've got people around them who can support them and help them to make sure that they are okay, because the minute they do it, a weight will be lifted off and they will be okay. As I say, as long as they can play football, they'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
Exactly, mate. 100%. Matt Hayes, good friend of ours, has just sent in a super chat. He says, "Saying I don't care LGBTQ supportive posts is idiotic. Some posts on your timeline aren't for you. Non-cricket fans wouldn't respond to that cricket's post." Simplistic way to put it, but it's true. I guess just saying, if you don't like it, you don't need to interact with it. Why do you need to verbalise the fact that you don't like it? And that's the thing, isn't it? He sent the messages in as well and does some great work, does Matt. So thank you for that, Matt.
cheers, Matt.
Yeah, but some great stuff. So to sign up to be a member, like I say, I've put the link in the description. What happens with that, Wiggy? Are we donating to the cause? Like what do we get from that? I know obviously you get a nice badge.
So yeah, it's completely free to sign up. So, you know, anyone can be a member. Generally, it's just so that we can we do a lot of pre-match Zooms at the minute. So we have people on to come and have a pre-match drink and talk about football. You know, we do a newsletter periodically. And it's just, the membership is just to be part of the group. You'll get emails from us now and again. Wider is follow us on Twitter. That's where you'll find most of our stuff going on. And soon we'll be relaunching our Facebook and Insta. Mishy's on with that one, I'm sure. But yeah, to become a member. Yeah, totally. To become a member, just go to Marching Out, and the pinned tweet is where you can just become a member, which is we'd love to have more of you.
Great stuff. So I'm not yet. I'm going to do it straight after this, right? We've got 160 people watching currently. The link is in the description. If you're watching live later on, click the link in the description. Let's sign up. Yeah, exactly. Let's get signed up, Oscar. You'll be doing the same straight after this as well, if you aren't already, my friend. Mike Luke Music says he's doing it now. So that's great. So let's do that. Even if it's just a small percentage of you, please take the moment. Please sign up to Marching Out Together. And make that happen. That'd be great. Thank you so much, like both, for coming on and educating us as well, and those that are watching. We'll have you back again, 100%. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a great chat. I'm going to hand over to Oscar now, who's going to take us through your ultimate Leeds 5-a-side teams. So I'll hand over to Oscar.
I tell you what, it feels like it is a long time since we've done this. It's a long time since we've done this, you know. And it is actually 2 months since we did this last time. Crawley was the last time we did this with James and Lola. No, James from On the Stoop was the last person who did this. So that's how long ago it was. But I'm going to go to I'm going to go to. We're going to first. I'm going to Wiggy's team first. I'm going to Wiggy's team. There's a lot of similarities between Mish and Wiggy's teams here. I'll go to yours first, mate.
We haven't even talked about it, so I don't know what he's got.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that now, to be fair. But no, to be fair, talk us through the boards then, Wiggy.
So I think for me, it shows you probably a moment in time in terms of my Leeds fandom. So Nigel Martin was just a class goalkeeper, wasn't he? I know he was displaced by Paul Robinson at a point, but he was fantastic. He was an England keeper. He was just the safest pair of hands that I've seen when I've watched Leeds United. And I thought, yeah, there would be no other for me. In terms of defenders, you've got your great ones, haven't you? We can talk about your Woodgates, we can talk about Ferdinand. But for me, the Chief Radaby was just the one who was always by their side if needed. And he was just that kind of mature head for the younger guys, and he was again just fantastic. Loads of time for the Chief, and obviously still a big Leeds fan. Phillips in midfield, and this for me is just because of everything he brings to us in this modern day. When we don't have Phillips playing, you notice a vast difference in how Leeds are and how we're doing. He's an England international, as we know, and well-deserved. What Bielsa and him have done together to get him to the player he is phenomenal. So, yeah, love Phillips. Then Bowyer for me, in that team around, the early 2000s, he was just the engine, wasn't it? Box to box, front to back. He would bring it every single game. I can't even remember him ever having an off game for us. And he was just a superb player. When we lost him, I was gutted, like I'm sure others were. But he was great, box to box, fantastic player, and doing well as a manager. And then finally up front, I couldn't not have you, Bower, just for them 2 goals. I'll never forget being a young lad in the social club with my crisps and pop, watching that thunderbolt go in against Liverpool. And I've still got just this vivid memory of it, and the club just going up in arms. So for me, again, it was great to see him back at the club for the centenary dinner and him come and say hello to people. But what a player your Bowl was. Like, you just never knew what he was going to do. So there could have been more. I could have got hundreds in there, but they're my 5 that on the spot they'd want to go for.
Nice. I really like that team. I think what I'll say about that team is it's a very popular team. That, not in the sense of like loads of people have gone for those particular players, but every single player there, quick to have their own chant, real terrace favourites kind of thing. You look at your Radabys, your Martins, Bowyers, the real terrace fan, your Bower as well, the star of the mid-90s. I mean, what a team that is, to be fair. It's probably, I'm not even just saying it just because you're here, Wiggy. That's probably one of my favourite, probably the closest, because me and Joe haven't done this yet. But
no, we haven't.
I tell you now, that's not far off what I'd probably be going with. Certainly the midfield and the defence, that'd certainly be something I go with. Well,
what we do, Wiggy and Mish, we do at the end of the show, we put a tweet out with the 2 teams next to each other and put a poll out, and we get people to vote on whose is the best team. So we'll have to see that. As I don't know what we plan to do for the end of the season. We've had a few requests, people saying you should do like semi-finals, finals with those that made it through. I don't know. We'll have a play around.
We'll do something. We'll suss it out.
We haven't done our own yet, have we, Oscar? But yeah, what colour was the ball, Oscar and Joe, for the goal? I don't know if you've seen that. We did a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Lewis Dayton. And was it 125,000 question was what colour was the ball for your Bower's goal? And I think the options were white, orange, blue or grey, and we literally spent like about 30 minutes on it. But it was white. It was white, but we were just not so unsure. Mad.
He messed with us there. He messed with us there, did Lewis? I'm still not forgiving him for that question. But Mish, we'll go to your team next. One second.
I'm quite of. I don't know what the word is, but I'm fascinated by the fact that me and Wiggy chose 3 of the same players.
I was going to say, it's
great. Let's
see what the difference.
Other than the fact that
it's the midfield, that's the only difference.
Midfield,
okay.
Yeah.
Talk us through it, Mish.
So Okay, well, Nigel Martin, obviously, as we said, outstanding goalkeeper. It's my era. It's the time, when I went and watched it with my dad and stuff like that. And he, we had the Lukic eras and stuff like that. We had the Lukic days. And, I even remember briefly David Harvey just before him, but I think I went to nursery school with his daughter. Anyway, that's by the by. Dad will want me to mention that. But yeah, Nigel Martin, outstanding goalkeeper, just saved everything. He was wonderful. Lucas, I mean, how can you miss him out? Because Dad wanted me to put Paul Reedy in, and like I said, but I couldn't not put Lucas in because he's just outstanding. He's the man. He is the man. Now this midfield, this is where I had a bit of an issue. I was always going to put Raff in because the modern day, and you're thinking about five-a-side. This is where my head was today. What a task this was. I think I've properly studied on it. This one.
You've been watching videos and everything, haven't you, Mish?
Honestly, I have. It's just been. I just thought I've got to do my studies on this. I can't just name it like that. But Raff, quick feet, five-a-side. It's got to be quick. You need someone who can do all this fancy stuff and then shoot. So Raff's on the left there, although he could go on the right, wherever. And bless Peter Lorimer. I mean, I've watched videos of him today, and what a guy! What a shot! What goals he scored, and I thought, what, he's going in my five-a-side team. It wasn't nearly going to be Phillips, so we would have had four nearly, Wiggy, but Peter just did it for me today. And what can you say about Yeboah that's not been said already? Apart from if he plays five-a-side, he'd probably break the net and the ball will just fly through, and God knows, I don't know where it'll go. But the goal against Liverpool, the goal against Wimbledon, the man. He's a genius, and can't miss out. Good old Yeboah. So that's my five, and like I said, it's very similar. So it remains to be seen who likes what when it goes out there on Twitter land.
I think, I don't know what you think, Oscar. I'm thinking in my head, I'm thinking Mish might edge it just because she's got Rafinha in, because he's flavour of the month right now, and I think on the five-a-side pitch it would be absolutely unbelievable. To be fair.
Depends what move. I mean, Wiggy's team is work rate and power, and I think Mish's team is just like creativity and just like wow kind of thing. I mean, I imagine that like Lorimer and Yeboah and Rafinha on the same pitch. I mean, just the power of the shots more than anything. You're just trying to duck out of the way, aren't you? If you're against that team, you're like thinking, "Whoa, get out of the way of that kind of thing." But
you don't want to be a goalie, would you? On the opposite side?
No. I think that would not be a fun one. But it'll be interesting. I reckon it'll be close. I reckon it'll be 55-45 either way. I'm reckoning. I'm thinking.
I was close with Bamford, by the way. He nearly went in. Just, this is not my subs, obviously. I'm not allowed subs, apparently.
Yeah, she asked for subs. Yeah, what would have been your subs, Mish?
Well, I would have had to go with Reedy and probably either Beckford or Phillips or something like that. Probably Beckford.
Yeah, we had.
What do you think, Dad?
Yeah, definitely. I think your dad's made well, you'll have to have subs then. But
yes.
Yeah. We have to be pretty strict with it because we started to get pretty loose, and then we had people putting I think we had
Phillips in the defence
goal at one point because he played once, so he could beat Rush goalie and stuff like that. So we've had a few mad ones, but that's the first Rafinha we've had, so I think that'll go down a treat. But we'll get that out on social media and get that poll written. Guys, for All Leeds TV this week, just before we let Wiggy and Mish just tell us a little bit about where we can find them, etc. This week we have, tomorrow is the ladies' night, so we've got the Leeds United ladies, so we have 4 regular girls, as you know, come and do their own podcast, so make sure you check that out. That's on tomorrow. We've got the quiz Wednesday, we've got a transfer special on Thursday, which will be Oscar and
looking
Phil.
forward to this.
Yeah, Phil's done a little bit of work on the prospective targets that Leeds United are looking at, so we'll be looking at them on Thursday, Friday before the whistle blows, and then of course we don't play till Monday, so we'll have your opposition preview Saturday, and your big match preview on Sunday night ahead of Monday. So keep it locked at All Leeds TV as per. Just want to say a massive thank you to Wiggy and Mish. It's been a really good show. There's been a lot of positive comments. Yeah, Cat's enjoyed it.
In the world, and all of a sudden she wants to get on camera.
Yeah, great stuff. I was worried at one point you might have gone viral if she'd have just jumped off the stairs. Like
I was thinking that. I was thinking. I couldn't stop taking my eyes off, thinking, no, don't you, no.
Yeah. Or is it
She's the most unfriendliest cat you'll ever meet, but she obviously won't stay. So obviously, there you go.
Great stuff. That episode of Friends when Ross is telling Rachel about he's going to love it, and then the cat jumps on his face and that. There'd been something like that. It'd been great. No, but right, Wiggy. So just finally, where can we find you, mate? What can we see you doing? All that sort of stuff. Am I right in saying you do regular appearances on the Roaring Peacock? I
do. Yeah. I'm on there now and again, every so often. It's a good laugh with the lads. It's good to get on and chat and talk about football and just have a laugh with them. So, that's where you'll see me if you ever see my face with the Roaring Peacocks. In terms of marching out together, find us on Twitter, marching out together, on all the socials. If you want to become a member, as I say, the pinned tweet, become a member. Just drop us an email with your details and we'll get a badge out to you. I think we've got some left. I'm hoping anyway. We will have some, I'm sure. If we don't, we'll sort it. To get your free Premier League badge. We will be sorting out the Facebook and Insta very soon. We're going to move on to new accounts, but we've got Twitter for now. And as I say, you'll get emails from us on the Zoom. So everyone's welcome to them pre-match, generally an hour or two before we get together with our members, have a drink, watch a bit of have a bit of banter before the pre-match, and then off we go to the pre-match. So thank you very much. And if anyone wants to follow me on Twitter, it's @Wiggy1234.
Cool, great stuff. And yourself, Mish, anything we could be expecting from you? I mean, I don't know if you do anything outside of the marching out together stuff, but here's your opportunity.
I do have a life, yeah. I do. Trying to think what it was then. Prior to lockdown, let me think. Yes, I work with young people as well, work with the Prince's Trust, so it's all good. But yes, I'm at Mish Keepman on Twitter, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I think it's Women's Independent Day or something next Monday. So hopefully there'll be a women-only podcast on the Roaring Peacocks. That's what we're hoping for. So you might see my lovely mug and whatever colour hair this is by then on that podcast. Just to say, if anyone does find our Facebook page, it is an old one, so don't sign up to that one. We are starting out a new one. So there is an Instagram and Facebook page at the moment, but they are not working, so that's why we're setting up new ones. So bear with us on that front. Great stuff, thanks for tonight. It's been great fun.
But the Twitter is working fine, so
Twitter's fine.
Absolutely fine.
I put the link in the description, so if you're watching now, you can actually click the link, which will take you straight to the website, and you can get yourself signed up. But that's great to hear that. Yeah, great stuff.
Really appreciate you having us, guys. Thank you.
Honestly, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. We'll have you back whenever you like. Whenever you like. So just let us know, and we'll have you back. Yeah, great stuff. Oscar, anything you want to add, mate?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what else there is to add. Keep it locked. Keep it locked. This might not be a game for another week or so, but plenty of content every single day. We will be having some content out anyway, guys. Tomorrow, of course, is Ladies' Night, so make sure you do stay tuned, guys. And maybe keep your eyes peeled for something else on another channel. We might have just mentioned it. There might be another one coming out soon. Who knows? Who knows? Me and Joe might be filming for another show. We are filming for another show.
Yeah. What's the? We'll leave it with the. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. That was me, Anne Robinson impression, but yeah.
Great stuff. Mad for us now, saying you've revealed me. You've revealed what it is now. You've revealed what it is.
Right, he does me over every night, every time I go on, and He's texted me and said, "Be ready for the insults." So I'm a little bit nervous about what he might throw at me during these.
Suzanne Robinson. Yeah. To be fair,
to be honest, I actually forgot how brutal it was, especially now when you look back and see someone had like retweeted the old put downs, and she was saying to this woman, "Oh, you're on benefits, are you? Oh, you're on benefits. So your kids got tags," and it was like. How was that allowed to happen? But it just shows just how much we've progressed just from seeing that clip, because that was allowed and it was mad, you know. Yeah, she said some crazy things, but yeah, there you go. We'll leave it at that. Thank you as always to our fantastic guests. Thank you to Oscar, and we will see you in a bit. Keep it locked at All Leeds TV as per. Peace.